Okay, so here we have a circular podium. It's got 3 steps, and base of the podium has a radius of 1.5 meters. It's got a few other parameters there to help the student work it out, but we're going to be talking mainly about how to identify it as an A standard Year 10 math solution. So I'll just get rid of that there and go into everything. So here we have the content descriptors that this question satisfies. Calculate the surface area and volume of cylinders and solve related problems. That's going back to year 9 and even a little bit earlier, but I'll just go back to year 9. And for year 10, this is where it boosted a bit. So composite solids is the main addition to that content descriptor. I've also added an element of factorization that is possible, but not absolutely required for the question. But it is awesome to note there, and I have put it in the solution. Just shows a little bit more proficiencies, and these proficiencies are what we'll be mainly talking about: understanding, fluency, problem solving, and reasoning. There's a little bit of information about what they entail. So just to demonstrate these proficiencies in this question, I'll show you how it's done. So starting with problem solving, I'll start with that mainly because it shows how the question was solved. So problem solving here, it's demonstrated when they interpret the problem statement and they know, okay, it's a composite solid, and they formulate a method or strategy. In this solution, the student, i.e. me, has said, okay, we got a top view. If we think of it in these terms, a top view looking down, it's pretty much just the radius of the biggest circle and find the area of that. And then add all the side views on there, because the main word in what they're asking for in the question is total visible area. So you don't have to count anything from the bottom. So all surfaces from the bottom are hidden. They've justified it there, which it helps with a little bit of the reasoning, which we'll discuss soon. So I'll get rid of those. Further to that, we've got understanding. So we'll move on to understanding now, Mr. Pink. So understanding when they actually relate the relationship of the radii to be dependent on the step S. So they've applied that S over here to find all these R values. Okay, so all those R values there, and they'll define them all in here again. All your justification and communication there with the defining variable section. Yeah, and moving on, a little bit more of understanding comes from applying the familiar area knowledge to identify correct equations for method. So looking over here, they've identified that they need the lateral surface area to find all the vertical area. So just these sections here. So they don't actually need the top surface area, so they only need the LSA of a vertical. So, and then it's made up of 3 with different radii, and then factorizing in here is a little bit of extra further knowledge that isn't required, but it helps with calculations, and it does make it nice and quick to calculate at the end. But moving on to reasoning. We'll go fluency, fluency. So fluency, that's mainly demonstrated when they can recall correct area formulas and knowledge. So they correctly identify that the area of the horizontal, so the top view plane, will be the area of a circle, and they've correctly identified the right equations to use, so for both horizontal and vertical areas that they want to find. In reasoning, so that's pretty much just justification, looking at justifying strategies and each step being explained. So we've got all of our asterisks down here. These are great explanations to what they're actually doing. So they start at the top saying, defining what the area is, the total area, what they want to find, as well as all the parameters up here. And as they go through, they fill this in and are able to have a quick reference to find the answer. So all of these here are just good reasoning tools and justifications, as well as all these square brackets here. So all surfaces from the bottom are hidden, so there's a justification as to why we're not including the surfaces underneath, and we are only adding the 2 visible planes. well 3 if you want to count your vertical as being a wraparound. Awesome, I hope that explains it all. And just finally, actually before I go, the answer is a good combination of many aspects of the proficiencies. It's well explained. 12.25 meters squared of carpet is required to cover the visible surface of the podium.